morning. It is time for another Thursday Thought, and we have Hudson
and Miss Susan.
Hey, we're here to share with you something that God has really put on our heart. When Kelly asked me if I was willing to take part in the Thursday Thoughts, my husband and I were in the middle of a nightly devotional that was really focusing on the Lord's Prayer. And the first memories I have of the Lord's Prayer was as a small child, younger than Hudson, spending the night with my great aunt and uncle. And every night, which I spent the night a lot, but every night we would recite the Lord's Prayer. And I can remember being at the foot of their bed and hearing my great aunt say a verse, and I would repeat it back. And as I grew up, I learned and understood the impact and the meaning that the Lord's Prayer had on my life. But about 15 years ago, a portion of that took on a new life for me. And it's give us this day our daily bread. In Exodus, we read that God provided daily manna for the Israelites, giving them only what they needed for the day. Did you hear the word daily? Not a stockpile, just what we needed for that day. Nothing more, nothing less, because He was going to take care of tomorrow when tomorrow came. I've always thought of manna as food for your physical nourishment. But after being diagnosed with the possibility of a very progressive, incurable lung disease about 15 years ago, I learned that manna can come in many forms. In Psalm 46, 1 through 8, the psalmist says, God is our shelter and strength in times of trouble. We will not be afraid, even if the earth is shaken or the mountains fall into the ocean depths. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come and see what the Lord has done. What the psalmist is really saying is, do you know who God is? Do you know what He can do? Do you know that He controls all things? And then in verse 10, he says, be still and know. Know that I'm with you. Know that you're not alone. Know that I have plans for you. Know that I am out there fighting for you no matter what trial you face. He's watching over us. Just be still. Now that doesn't mean to be inactive or complacent and to do nothing. It means waiting with assurance, knowing that God is at work ahead of you, preparing the way, and that He's going to provide for you just what you need. Well, I can't say that the waiting wasn't hard, and there were days that it was right out frightening. I wasn't either inactive or complacent. I did a lot of praying, fiercely praying. I wanted to glorify God in being sick or in being healed. I did what I could. I had lots of tests, lots of exams, lots of blood work, and doctor's appointments. And I still go every year to keep a check on it. I did what I could do, and then in that time, I learned to be still and to wait and to trust God. It took several years of tests and monitoring the progression, or should I say the lack of progression of the disease, to be confident that either the diagnosis was wrong or either Jesus had answered my prayer and healed me by stopping the progression. During those years of being still, God was building my faith and trust while providing me with daily manna in the form of peace, joy, and confidence that He was with me no matter what the outcome was going to be. 15 years later, and I still don't have a concrete answer, but what I do have is faith and assurance and confidence that no matter what trial comes before me, I'm not alone, and I've got somebody beside me greater than me to help me face it. So whatever the reason that's going to come up in all of our lives, at some point we need to remember that God is with us and He's going to provide for us. Give us this day our daily bread.
One time I was playing with my friend Gray, and I was jumping in the pool and I face planted the bottom of the and I just got back up, even though it hurt bad. And then I felt good about what I was doing.
Very good, because you weren't alone, were you? No. Was God with you?
Yes.
Yes.
God, thank you for this day, and God, thank you for everyone. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.